Killing your grandfather is a lot less messy than killing Hitler and other time travel problems. On this episode of The Twisted 10.
And welcome to another episode of The Twisted 10. Sitting in studio with my boys, Ron and Josh. What's up, fellas?
What's going on, guys?
Hello.
We're missing you in studio, Tach, but Tach and Ron, thank you for doing the editing and all the post-production work. You guys nailed it on the last one, so good job, Tach. We do miss you. We do hope that it works out. We want you back in studio for your comedy prowess because it's impeccable. No, I don't want to laugh at the Tach's comedy prowess. All right. So we got a good show on
I
deck.
think Tach's funny. I didn't think you complimenting that he's funny was funny.
I guess that's a good point.
Yeah, it sounded sarcastic and like you weren't serious about it.
No, don't say that because he's gonna get all butthurt and. I don't need more messages in Discord about being butthurt. That's it.
Am I marking this for an edit? Hey, Ron, if you're listening, edit this out. By the way, it's all staying in. I have the power.
It always stays in.
I have the power.
All right. So welcome to another show in studio, boys. We were gonna do a double header tonight, but we smoke and mirrors. That ain't gonna happen. We did hang a new piece of artwork in the studio that Josh brought in this evening. Maybe we can take a picture and throw that up in Discord. But explain what this is. It looks like. Well, let's just let you explain it. What is this thing?
So this is a tapestry that went on sale on Amazon for $3.94 that I bought because it was $3.94. But it's hung up behind me because the wall behind me right now, we're renovating the studio still, and there's more going up. But right now it's just a concrete block wall.
All right, this is a live photo going up in studio, and yes, you see some 2x4s and shit in the studio because we're building some stuff out. But that is Mr. Wilson. That might not have. Fuck it, good enough.
Fine. But
live shot right into the Discord.
But so the picture on it though is like this really cool. It's like a galaxy print on the background, very generic. But on top of it is this really cool line work. The piece is called The Lovers. But it's two like people, and it's loosely silhouetted. That there's two people kissing, and there's like hands in the picture and stuff. It's really wild.
That's one of those pictures that the longer you stare at, those lines are kind of like clouds, where you will see shapes, you will see different things. Like I see the platypus you were talking about, Fluff, in the pre-show. I see it in there too. I see a horse at the top of the photo where the guy's eye is. I mean, you look at it long enough, you're going to see different shapes. What do you see, Ron?
Well, I see where it looks like she has a big giant witch nose. And it looks like he has elf ears. But they're like pointed down instead of up.
His ears kind of look like the continent of Africa.
More South America.
Oh, you know what? You're right.
I don't know.
It's South America.
Brazil. I'm glad what I was looking at is what you thought also was his ears, because it could have been something like over there.
Is that his wiener? What's going on here?
Yeah, it's his wiener. It's his wiener.
People in the car are like, Jesus. I don't
Come on.
No, people in the car are like, let me go to this Discord and see what the fuck this thing is, because it's interesting. It's cool looking though. It's very nebulous, very.
Yeah, I really wish we could take credit for the cool ass piece of art that it is, but I'm not exaggerating when I say I bought it because it was under $4 tapestry. That's all. Good. That's the only reason I bought it, or that Margaret bought it for me. She said, "You want a tapestry?" You said, "We've been looking for one." And I said, "Yeah, sure. How much is it?" She says, $300. It's okay. Just buy it. I don't care.
Multifunctional. Also helps to diffuse the sound off that concrete block wall behind you. All right. So we got a good show in store for you guys tonight, but I'm not hosting it.
Yeah, I'm not either.
I think I know what that means.
I'm not hosting it. You said you were bringing your list.
We didn't coordinate this.
I'm just kidding. I'm just
Tach,
kidding.
where you at, buddy? You owe us a few, buddy. When you come back, you're gonna have like 3 in a row you got to do.
It's me. I am the host tonight.
Nice. In fact, the show that goes up tonight is the one you just hosted, which was the top 10 unethical human practices. With
unethical human experiments.
Human experiments, that's right. And I won't spoil that twist, but that twist was one of the best twists we have ever had on the show. That was awesome. That was a really cool twist.
It was so hard to put that together as far as the twist especially, but it was fun.
It was awesome.
You know, I'll tell you what. I can't find artwork for that one. So when we put out, like every episode goes out with just the typical Twisted 10 cover art, just normal. But for some of the social media stuff, we've been promoting some of our shows with extra art that we've got a guy working on for us. I don't know what to put in that one. That one's a hard one to do. Like if I put the Tuskegee Airmen in, well, that's kind of a spoiler for one of them, but that's okay. If I put that in there, then makes me feel like it's all about the Tuskegee Airmen.
I don't know, put a prostitute with syphilis. I don't know. It'll really get people wondering, what is the show I gotta watch?
Josh, Team Teamwork's got a pretty good breadth of people. Do we have one of those in there? You got a prostitute with syphilis in Team Teamwork? I don't think so. He's not going to answer. Nice.
Wow, that was really some high marks you're giving that.
He's asked me to not. No.
Oh, you never said it was a female. I mean, hey, all right. Enough about that one. That was a good episode, though. That was a lot of fun. That will go up tonight for the folks in Discord that are hearing this now. That'll go up tonight. So, all right, Ron. I guess, buddy, it's your show. Take it away.
All right, gentlemen. So I got kind of a twist on this one. I have an organized list here that's all around the same subject, but it's 2 lists of 5 organized around the same subject. 10 through 6 and then 1 through 5.
Oh, okay. So like 2 mini lists.
Yes, in a way.
Okay,
it's like 2 mini lists.
Dude, this is 2 shows in one.
Kinda, yeah.
You made it a double header without making it a double header.
Yeah, good call, Ron.
Yes. So, are you ready?
All right, let's do it.
It's funny. I have the bumper here that we always record, but I won't read the bumper because it wouldn't make sense to do it right now.
Do it.
To our listeners, they've already heard it.
Yes, you guys already heard the bumper that these guys haven't heard, but when you hear this show, they will have heard.
Our listeners are going, what the fuck?
Before you start, I have one question.
Yes.
What is the first number on your list?
10.
Nice.
Yeah, I've got it
10,
down now.
He did say it's going to be a list for 10 through 6 and then 1 through 5. So he's going to fuck with us.
I did say that, didn't I? Yeah.
I wasn't going to call it out, but Josh pointed it out.
Guys, what if you could just, in the blink of an eye, just go to the end of the list? Wouldn't that be cool? Like if we could just do that, just
miss the journey. Miss the journey.
That's the whole. If I wanted that, I'd just go to BuzzFeed and read a text-based top 10 list. That's no fun.
Oh, okay. Well,
unless that's a tie into your list. Wait a minute.
Kind of is because this is.
I mean, that'd be really cool, man.
Thanks for ruining it. This is the top 10 time travel theories.
Oh, yes.
All right. There we go.
Ron is giving me a boner right now. He said tonight was going to be a boner episode.
You were, you were not exaggerating.
Yeah, definitely. And now, in the first 5, because like I said, it will be 5 and 5. The first 5 is 5 theories of how.
Oh, and the second 5 is time travel. We start them over again. We do 5 theories of how.
Just 5 theories of how again. It's the same 5.
Cool.
I really ran out of time.
No, I have some great time travel anecdotes.
We're all fans here of sci-fi shows like Doctor Who and some of the movies that deal a lot with time travel. And I mean, let's face it, Back to the Future, back in time.
I gotta get back.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I know what you're mimicking. You're mimicking that Saturday Night
in the News.
Oh, I thought you were mimicking the Saturday Night Live skit around.
Let's go with that if it's funnier.
Yeah. Well, there was a Saturday Night Live skit with Michael J. Fox. Obviously, he's just sitting in an elevator like a regular, just regular guy, and I forget who comes. This is 20 plus years ago. So you imagine the people that were on Saturday Night Live back then. The
good crew.
Yeah. They one at a time. They're going in there as he's going up and down, and they're like, singing the Back to the Future songs to him. And so and it gotta get back in time. I think I was like not John Lovitz. It might have been John Lovitz actually. It was funny.
A lot of SNL skits these days are good. They're a little shaky, but not nearly as shaky as that one.
Huh?
Michael J. Fox.
Oh.
Had to. Oh. Come on.
God.
Elephant in the room, man. I had to.
Oh, wow.
The dead silence is the best part about that.
Well, I didn't get it at first. I got to be honest. I was like, I don't understand what you're talking about.
It's a deep joke.
I thought you were saying just the way I described this SNL skit was like shit, which it was. And it really didn't capture any of the humor of it.
They are about 99% bad skits, and then the one that's good is timeless.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
yes,
that's true.
Well, even a blind squirrel gets a nut once in a while.
So yeah, I won't make those jokes again. Sorry.
Yeah, nice. Good job there. All right, are you guys ready for this list? Or
right,
did we have some things we needed to discuss ahead of time? Or
I mean, I've got a few guesses here, but I don't want to spoil them. I'd sometimes come out with something and spoil it ahead of time, so I'm not going to do that this one.
Yeah, because I mean,
for Ron's list.
Yeah. Yeah, for Ron's list. I wouldn't be able to guess. Okay, I think number 7 on Josh's animal sounds list is going to be caw, caw, tucky. Is that spoiling it for you?
Totally ruined the entire list.
No, it's fine. I've already listened to it. We do a great job. This episode's going to be awesome. I came back to make sure this is future me.
Oh, I like that.
Ah, nice.
I'm
Let's
going
see which one of these methods you might have used.
I'm going in the era a la Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. I'm going to place a Coke that is going to fall in my hand right now from the ceiling. It didn't work. Damn it.
Yeah, it's because I caught it.
You fucker. All right.
Nice. All right, are we ready?
Let's do it.
Number 10.
10.
Through the wormhole.
Oh, yeah.
General relativity. Here I go with big words. All right, second fucking word. Jesus. General relativity provides scenarios that could allow travelers to go back in time, according to NASA. The equations, however, might be difficult to physically achieve. One possibility could be to go faster than light, which travels at 186,282 miles per second in a vacuum. Einstein's equations, though, show that an object at the speed of light would have both infinite mass and length of 0. This appears to be physically impossible, although some scientists have extended his equations and said it might be done. A linked possibility, NASA stated, would be to create wormholes between points in space-time. While Einstein's equations provide for them, they would collapse very quickly and would only be suitable for very small particles. Also, scientists haven't actually observed these wormholes yet. Also, the technology needed to create a wormhole is far beyond anything we have today. That was from space.com.
So the wormhole concept in this case is just the mathematical folding of space-time to just bring 2 points together.
I mean, from my
wormhole?
previous understanding of wormholes, like taking a piece of paper, you draw a point here, draw a point there, but then fold that paper in half and meet the points. That's cool. The essence of a wormhole.
In any sci-fi show that has any kind of those vehicles that travel using FTL drives or warp drives or anything like that, they're effectively making a wormhole. So the time it takes to go from here to the moon for light to travel is 4 minutes? No, here to the sun is 8 minutes round trip, I believe. I might be wrong on that. So it takes that long.
Does light go round trip? Does the light go here and then go back to the sun?
Bounce. Some of it
does.
I'm just being an ass.
Maybe it's 8 minutes one way. Maybe that's what it is.
I was just being an ass. I don't know.
If the sun exploded, we wouldn't know about it for 8 minutes. The light wouldn't reach us for 8 minutes. We wouldn't know about it. I mean, then it would be we'd be done.
The massive nuclear shockwave would reach us before the light. I think is how that would work.
I think the shockwave travels at the speed of light as well. I think I believe that it does. The only thing, and I had a conversation with our friend Derek about this.
Yeah.
How is space expanding faster than the speed of light? And that's based on how space is growing. Space itself is growing. The emptiness is growing.
Derek is the same reason I have that. I've had the same exact conversation with him. What if the sun blows up?
A wormhole is different, though. So that 8 minute travel distance for light from the sun to us, with a wormhole, it's a moment of passing between those two locations. So you create a wormhole between here and the sun, for example, which would be a bad idea. But if you did it, you would only take a second to pass through that wormhole instead of that 8 minute trip. So you're literally folding the distance between us and your destination so you can travel faster than the speed of light while not traveling faster than the speed of light. So it's really it's awesome to theorize, but there is no practical evidence of it anywhere other than mathematical evidence. It's empirical evidence. There's no real evidence.
What about Interstellar?
Well, Interstellar was a different one, though. Their time travel forward in the future was based on how gravity worked around that black hole. So I don't know if that's something you're going to talk about later, but that's fucking awesome as shit too. That's really cool. Until he stepped into the black hole. Spoiler alert for Interstellar people. When he goes into the black hole and then ends up in an infinite number of his daughter's bookcases. Come on, you jumped the shark a little bit there for me, but the rest of it was fucking cool.
That was him. That was a fourth dimensional representation for third dimensional beings. That's what that was. That's why it was.
It was a design. It was designed too by humans in the future.
It was a fourth dimensional space because I was so blown away by that scene. It didn't make sense at first, and then I read about it and it made total sense. It was a fourth dimensional space created by fifth dimensional beings as like
future humans, though, right? That was the fifth dimensional beings.
I don't remember if they were humans or not. I'm not saying that they were or not. I don't remember that.
That was my takeaway. At least.
But it was constructed. It was made for him to go back and pass that message to his daughter. Spoiler alert. Or message, or not, it wasn't a message, but
if you haven't seen the movie by now, they had time. Boom.
I like that. Good pun. Even though if you haven't seen the movie, that really still didn't spoil it.
Yeah,
people are going to hear that and go, what the fuck are these guys talking about?
I don't even think we
Until
really.
it happens.
He's talking about black holes, bookcases.
Getting weird.
Yeah,
it definitely does get weird.
All right, number 9.
Number 9.
Infinite cylinder.
I'll tell you what, because this is your time travel episode, or time methods, I'm going to go ahead and say 876-54321, and then you just go back and pick that number, and you insert my comment there.
Astronomer Frank.
Good job.
Just playing. Astronomer Frank Tipler, even though it's one P, maybe it's Tipler, proposed a mechanism sometimes known as Tipler cylinder, where one would take matter that is 10 times the sun's mass, then roll it into very long but very dense cylinder. After spinning this up a few billion revolutions per minute, a spaceship nearby following a very precise spiral around the cylinder could get itself on a closed time-like curve, according to the Anderson Institute. There are limitations with this method, however, including the fact that the cylinder needs to be infinitely long for this to work. It reminds me a little bit about how they time travel in classic Star Trek, looping around the sun. But I don't know. I don't think that's really what they're referring to.
Yet.
Spoiler.
Well, that definitely have had 50 years, ass.
1976, yeah. 78.
No, it's 66 to 69.
Oh.
Yeah, so over 50 years. But I know they did it in one of the movies too, the fourth movie.
Yeah, it was
Superman did it too, right?
Save the Whale, I think.
Oh, he reversed time backwards by spinning around the Earth really fast.
Which I hope that's not one of your theories.
Sorry.
No, it's not.
Sorry, thank
no,
God.
nothing from that only comes from movies that is not based in science is on this list.
Oh my God! All right, so I get that one. I guess I can see that. I never even thought about that theory, but using the gravity.
Well, it's because you're not Albert Einstein. Might be part of why.
This wasn't Albert Einstein.
No, but I'm just mean a mind like Albert
Tipler.
Einstein. This is Tipler.
No, but I'm
Tipler.
fascinated with all that kind of shit. That's still using gravity more or less based on the cylinder that they're using to circle, I guess.
It seems it seems plausible. All we have to do is collect 10 stars the size of our sun, stretch them into a cylinder the length of the universe, and then spin it at an infinite rate, and we can create a time well.
Yeah.
I bet I could do that by the time I retire. Probably pull that
That's
off.
one of those things where the work doesn't equal the outcome. You're like, why am I doing this? This is horrible. Let's just not do this anymore, huh?
No, there's time travel is such a fascinating concept to me.
Yeah.
It was recently proven that I forget which student or which school the student was at, but he proved that philosophically and mathematically, paradox-free time travel is possible.
One way, though, correct? One way.
Well, paradox-free means it corrects itself. So it's you don't have a paradox if you only go in one direction. You just go back to that point in time.
Oh, I guess that's a good point. You wouldn't have a paradox.
Let's save the paradox conversation.
Yes. You gotta rein us in, dude.
Assholes.
We're gonna go nuts with this. You gotta rein it in.
This really is a time travel episode, isn't it? Cockbags are talking about shit from the future of the list.
I told you I've already listened to it. I just don't want to get it in the wrong order.
Yeah, I got
It's my fault.
Totally.
It's my fault.
Spoiler
By the way,
alert.
Ron, where would one be able to make a cylinder where would one buy a cylinder that stretches the infinite length of the universe? Amazon? Do they sell that shit on there?
I think so.
Alexa, order infinite cylinder.
Yeah, you just take 10 times something 10 times the matter of the sun. I mean, you just put it together, man.
I mean, all right, hang on a minute. Zoop.
Now spin it as fast as you can.
Helicopter, I am game for this. Let's do it.
Time well.
All right, number 8.
It's the nickname of my dick now. My dick's name is Timewell.
Timed well, they call him.
I'm sorry, number 8.
Number 8, black holes.
Black hole sun. Sorry.
Mysterious black holes could be the key to time travel because I wanted to almost say the pneumonia. It's the phenomena. I literally looked at it and said, because the pneumonia, because the phenomena have the ability to dilate time. Time dilation is the difference in time when measured on 2 clocks. Imagine one of these clocks was placed on a spaceship which travels at the speed of light or close to it, and another remained on Earth. When the spaceship reaches light speed, time is separately relative to both the clock on Earth and in the spaceship, as the speed of light is constant for both parties. It would seem as if time would be moving much slower on the rocket. When the spaceship reaches light speed, time is separately Did I repeat that twice?
I don't think you did. I think you're good.
Okay. When the spaceship reaches light speed, time is separately relative to both the clock on Earth and in the spaceship. As the speed of light is constant for both parties, it would seem as if time would be moving much slower on the rocket. Hypothetically, as one gets closer to the black hole, time would appear to be traveling normally, but for observers on the outside, thousands of years would have passed. Now that was Interstellar. That was from Interstellar as well.
There's a real world practical evidence. See if either one of you guys can get this. There's a real world practical piece of evidence that can happen right now and happens right now that we can see to prove that time dilation effect. Does anybody know what it is?
I mean, we've done it.
What is it?
I don't remember which mission it was, but like
all of them.
We took a quartz clock up into space for that, though. I mean, we proved it like 40, 50 years ago.
We have that happening right now. The GPS satellites that are in orbit right now have a formula for the time dilation effect. So because of where they're located in their geosynchronous orbits, they are traveling slower in time than we are on Earth because of the difference in gravity, because of how gravity affects those two different zones. It's really fascinating. But yeah, the time will pass slower. So the twins, the two NASA twins, the astronauts, one stayed on the ground. He was also an astronaut, but this mission he didn't. He stayed on the ground. His other twin went into space. They're no longer the same age.
It's weird.
The one in space aged less than the guy on the ground. He aged, granted, it's fractionally different. It's like the guy on the ground is like maybe a minute older now, but he is technically older and has lived a longer life based on how time is perceived. It's really cool.
Yeah. I heard a long time ago this analogy for time dilation, and it stuck with me. It's the easiest. So we know that we can't move faster than the speed of light. So in this hypothetical experiment, you are just sub-light speed. You are just underneath the speed of light. And you are flying, whatever, straight. Doesn't matter. You're flying in a straight line, and you fire a gun straight ahead of you, or like in the direction you're traveling. That bullet will still, like a regular bullet, haul ass off into the distance and you'll never see it again. But that is the time dilation effect. You can't, that mass can't go faster than the speed of light. Thus, it has to go through time slower to get ahead of you.
Yeah, that's correct. The train theory was also the same way because it's relative to you. Relative to you traveling at 9/10 the speed of light or whatever it is, when you fire the bullet's still going to go at 2,000 feet per second or whatever the hell it travels, going very fucking fast. But it's because it's to you. To an observer outside, it's like watching your spaceship fly by on the horizon and sees you shoot the bullet. Well, the bullet is just slowly advancing away from you, not quite to the speed of light. Yeah, it's really fucking cool.
Doctor Who did a great episode on that.
Doctor Who's done a ton of good episodes on that, yeah.
So they did, it was a 2-part, and stop me if this is anywhere on your list.
I don't know what you're talking about yet.
All right, cool. So it was a 2-part episode. There was a ship getting pulled into a black hole, just to bring this all back to the black hole time dilation. It was a 2-part episode, and the whole idea was that the ship was just strong enough to sustain itself on the event horizon of a black hole, but not escape it. So the people in I'm going to call the bottom of the ship in a sort of upright picture, the people on the bottom closer to the engines thrusting away from the black hole were going through time slower. So they were sending search parties down to go and figure out what happened. Nobody's coming back. They were just going down and not able to get back in a reasonable time. So they were just going down like, oh, this place is kind of awful. And then they get back on the elevator and like, well, the humanity up here is dead. They couldn't get back in a time before everything they knew and loved was alive.
There's a movie on Netflix right now that talks about this. We've talked about this on the show before. Time Trap, I think is what it's called. It's where these kids go into a cave and get stuck in these different time effect. I'll find it.
Are you talking about Dark?
That sounds pretty cool.
No, that's good too, though.
This has to do with time too. Yeah,
I'll find it and report back later in the episode. Or if you're listening from the future, sooner in the episode.
Everyone listening to this right now, besides us, we'll be listening to it in the future from the moment we recorded it.
And our Discord live stream.
Oh yeah, boom.
Good call.
All right, are you guys ready?
Yes, sir.
Number 7. Cosmic strings. Another theory of potential time travelers. Time travel involves something called cosmic strings. Narrow tubes of energy stretched across the entire length of the ever-expanding universe. These thin regions left over from the early cosmos are predicted to contain huge amounts of mass and therefore could warp the space-time around them. Cosmic strings are either infinite or they're in loops with no ends, scientists say. The approach of two such strings parallel to each other would bend space-time so vigorously and in such a particular configuration that might make time travel possible in theory. I had never heard of the cosmic strings before.
You lost me on that.
Yeah,
Can you layman that for me? Did you understand?
Are you asking me to? So the reason I brought this subject up is because if one of y'all brought it up, I'd just be sitting there like, it sounds fun. This way I can read and the smart people can talk about it.
Fuck, I don't know. That one lost me.
So cosmic energy strings, infinite strings or infinite loops of energy that exist. That's that's
left over from the early cosmos, it says.
Left over from the early cosmos. Okay, so so it's objective that they are real though. That part is not the theory.
The Carl Sagan show?
Yeah, supposedly they're real. The theory is they could kind of bend or warp space-time.
Awesome. Okay, so it's just so the theory then is that you take these immense wraps of energy and the exploding energy from them touching would cause just warping in space-time. Is that I think I did the layman of it.
Yeah, sounds right to me.
There's just going to be so much energy, there's going to be time ripples, and if you're in the right place at the right time, you can go to another.
It's hard not to say time and
that one's
point
tough.
It out. Yeah, it's weird.
It doesn't armchair very well because I guess it doesn't help that none of us have heard of it before. It's a new one. It's not one that's been around for.
I wonder if that ties into the other. So there's a theory about something similar to that which is not time related. It's universe related, but how there's the universes themselves predictably are infinite. So infinite number of universes that are side by side each other. Think of them as like sheets of paper, and those sheets of paper are fluid. They move. And every once in a while, those sheets of paper will touch. Those two universes can touch and cross over. So I wonder if it has to do something similar to that, something along those lines, where it's different timelines that might interact with each other, but maybe part of a different universe of some kind. I don't know. That one's awesome, Ron. I'm gonna have to research that. That's
cosmic strings. Yes. Yep, definitely. I had never heard of it before.
Oh, by the way, the movie we were talking about is called Time Trap.
I think that's what you said.
Fucking awesome. Awesome movie. I could not. It's only got a 58% tomato meter, but I give it 100% tomato meter. Wait, is that bad or good? Whatever. It's
good.
It's a good movie.
It's good.
I don't know how Rotten Tomatoes work.
Yeah, what you do is
ignore the tomato rating and get the community rating.
Yeah, the audience. Yeah. I always look at the audience rating. I never look at the tomato meter. I can care less what they think.
The audience is a 65%. So
that means two of three people thought it was a great movie. That to me is a good rating.
Cool. You'll like it though. For time travel stuff, it's a fucking great watch.
It's awesome.
All right, number 6. Time Machine.
Oh, the movie?
The object, not the movie.
Oh, damn it.
And definitely not the second movie that sucked balls compared to the original movie.
That was bizarre. That was
it was horrible.
It was like a Tim Burton movie almost.
It was bad. It wasn't a Tim Burton movie. It was just a bad movie.
Yeah, the steampunky
time travel ball.
Yeah,
it was a kids movie.
What the
Not
time?
the second one, not the newer one, not the time machine from like 2000.
It's got like the really posh 1920s guy who builds a time machine.
Yeah, but that was also the first one too, the original.
Oh, that was the first one. Oh, I'm making sure I have them right. Is all.
The second one is a remake of the first one. It was just a really bad remake.
Oh, I see.
Oh,
I don't know. I whichever one I saw, I really enjoyed.
Well, you don't know. You're not sure if you saw one from 2010 or like 1950. You literally don't know that.
Huge difference, yeah.
Then it was the new one.
Okay.
Yeah. And I enjoyed
it was entertaining. It was entertaining, but when you put it up against the caliber of the original, it sucked. It sucked. It was good though, as far as what it was designed to do.
Yeah, I guess I didn't realize it was a remake, so I was like, oh, pretty green fields, time travel ball, dope. I'm sorry. Tell me about your time travel machine.
Okay, let's do it. It is generally understood that traveling forward or back in time would require a device.
Flux capacitor.
Flux capacitor. You were waiting.
Great Scott.
You were just waiting for that, weren't you?
Oh,
a time machine to take you there. Time machine research often involves bending space-time so far that time lines turn back on themselves to form a loop, technically known as a closed time-like curve. To accomplish this, time machines often are thought to need an exotic form of matter, with
Element
what is it?
117.
Yeah, there you go. Or what is it that they used?
Josh.
Plutonium in Back to the Future.
Plutonium, yeah. But that was in the Mr. Coffee or
Mr. Fusion.
Mr. Fusion.
Yeah, that was the second one. Or I think the end of the first one, actually, and then it was
I think you're right.
Beginning of the second one as well. Such exotic matter has bizarre properties, including moving in the opposite direction of normal matter when pushed. Such matter could theoretically, I sound drunk, could theoretically exist, but if it did, it might be present only in quantities too small for the construction of a time machine. However, time travel research suggests time machines are possible without exotic matter. The work begins with a donut-shaped hole enveloped within a sphere. Enveloped. That's the same word. But enveloped is not a fucking word, is it? Enveloped within a sphere of normal matter. Inside the donut-shaped vacuum, space-time could get bent upon itself. Get bent. We were both thinking the same exact thing.
Yes.
Get bent, bitch. Damn, I lost my place here. Inside this donut-shaped vacuum, space-time could get bent upon itself using focused gravitational fields to form a closed time-like curve. To go back in time, you gotta get back in time.
Oh, yeah.
A traveler would race around inside the donut, going further back into the past with each lap. This theory has a number of obstacles. However, you think the gravitational fields required to make such a closed time-like curve would have to be very strong, and manipulating them would have to be very precise.
Huh.
So, I mean, people actually, I guess, get paid to sit there and theorize about. What if I could, somebody gets a grant for who knows how much money and spends like 5 years trying to just conceptualize how you would make a time machine.
I believe you have to have a working theory before someone hands you money. I believe that's how it works.
I get that, but then you're still trying to figure. Well, I guess you're trying to figure out the math in essence. You conceptualize it, get a grant, and you spend 5 years trying to figure out the math of this time machine that's never going to get built.
You said earlier element 117 that we talked about in the past. That's the Bob Lazar element.
I know.
No, but I was originally going to say, no, Josh, that's gravity, and sound like a nerd kind of making fun of another nerd. However,
definitely.
Based on what Ron just said, that's exactly what you want. You want something to control the gravity around that donut with an envelope around it.
Yeah, I knew that. I was trying to fill in the blank for Ron.
Enveloped by an envelope.
As he continued the conversation about it, I'm like, holy shit, that's exactly what you need. You need that theoretical element 117 that can literally shape gravity around whatever the hell you want it to be. Oh, that's pretty cool.
And you know what I didn't hear in the first part of this list, Ron?
What?
Why don't we just go and load a save from earlier in the simulation? Let's just load a backup and just go backwards.
Ooh, I wonder if that's going to be in the next one.
Wow, is that like the on the Gateway they used to have the go back function? I mean, every computer still has it, but I remember it specifically from Gateway because I thought, oh my god, in my mind, I really felt like my computer was reverting back in time. That's like because it was the first computer I ever had. It was back in like I don't know 97 or 8. Adam sold it to me.
It would have been 98 or 99.
Yeah, something like that. Adam sold it to me.
Dude, I think I sold him a top of the line like Pentium 366.
Dude, I would.
And you guys are still friends. So
I could. I could fucking game on that. I mean, you're totally getting off subject here, but I could fucking game on that thing playing Team Fortress Classic on dial-up, not have lag. It was a badass computer.
I understand. My dad is a tech nerd. We had a computer in the house when I was like 4, 5.
Well, see, Ron loved the Gateway Go Back feature back in the day when Gateway was a thing.
Because I was always ruining my computer with porn.
He would get porn viruses every other weekend. Like, Ron, just go back. Use the Go Back feature.
It's called the porn virus feature.
Time is such a weird thing. Maybe I'm gonna do a list on time travel paradoxes.
Ooh, okay.
That's a future thing. You've inspired me, Ron.
I have. Well, the next 5 might uninspire you.
Oh, all right, cool. Hell yeah. No, I want the
I told
content,
you this
so
is 2 different mini lists.
I get all of the content that I want and none of the work. So sign me up. This is better. This is better than me doing the paradox list.
Okay, gotcha. There you go. All right, that was number 6.
All
so
right.
break it time.
All right, sounds good. We'll be back just in time for the next 5.
Oh,
you see what I did there?
Everyone saw what you did there.
Oh, damn it.
Now no one's going to listen to the next 5.
All right, we'll be back.
I gotta split quick somehow, because you got me in deep, too deep right now. Soon I'm feeling restless, when most of our time is spent around my mattress. Selling me out your essence, baby. Lady, well, I'm crazy, 'cause I just can't give you everything. Now I bet you wonder why I'd ever be hesitant, but I spent my whole life looking for a quick fix. Hey, no, I can hear a mess. It's like I'm going deaf, and you can hear me singing if my thoughts all strapped. Baby, tell me what's left. And now I can't believe this how it's gotta be. Oh, you make me feel away, but I still gotta leave. I gotta be free. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to recap the first 5. All right?
All right.
Okay. And these are 5 theories of how. Number 10, through the wormhole. Number 9, infinite cylinder. Number 8, black holes, sun. Number 7, cosmic strings. And number 6, time machine.
All right, good recap.
All right.
Big gulps, huh?
Yeah.
All right, see you later.
Nice.
If anybody got that, throw that comment in Discord. I'll send you a shirt when we get them. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I think somebody would probably get that. I don't know how many people are in Discord, but
I don't know.
I would imagine somebody would. Except it's an older movie, but
Discord soon.
I turned on the wrong mic. I turned on the... Sorry, Josh. I turned on the wrong mic.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Can I participate?
Yes, you can
Cool.
participate. That's my bad.
Thanks,
Sorry.
Dad.
Oops.
good times.
The mic on the floor was hot. You should have just laid down.
Scream into it.
It's pink.
Scream into it. Okay. Are we ready for the next
let's do it.
5? All right. So this 5, the first 5 was time travel theories on how. This 5 is temporal paradoxes.
Oh, cool.
Oh, my bad.
Josh. I think I'll do
I stomped all over that.
Yeah. You really even started like formulating your next list around it and shit.
Well, I mean, that means your first mini list was awesome.
There you go.
I walked away wanting to do a related list.
Yes, exactly.
I'm just now critiquing you.
All right. Are we ready?
Yes.
Do it.
Number 5.
5.
Casual loop. A casual loop is a theoretical proposition in which, by means of either retro casualty or time travel, a sequence of events actions, information, objects, or people, is among the causes of another event, which is in turn among the causes of the first mentioned event. Such casually looped events then exist in space-time, but their origin cannot be determined. A hypothetical example of a casualty loop, did I say that right? Yep.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
It's causal loop.
Oh,
It's causality.
causality. Well, why'd you let me say it like 5 times wrong?
Well, I didn't know when you. I was gonna let you finish the paragraph and then
so I
present
could
it to
say
you.
it 10 times wrong?
To say it the second time correctly.
Do you want to edit this out and start over?
No, hell no. It's hilarious. That is like,
I'm
that's
sorry,
like
it was
that's
killing
like
me
my-
over here. I'm just like, but it's I know.
It's not as bad as the Corin.
It's not. It's
the Corin.
yes,
That's
it's the casual Corin.
yeah, the best part is the people who are listening, like they're in their cars, like, fucking causality, you dumbass. I can see it now.
I'm so sorry to interrupt you.
No,
Ron.
it's
I was just-
awesome. I wish you had interrupted
twitching.
me the second I said
Twitching.
casualty.
I didn't even
Or
catch
whatever.
on to it. I'm like, casually loop. Like, all right, let's go there.
It's very casual. It's just casually, fucking up time.
That is hilarious. Oh.
Oh God, maybe I should just start over, but leave it all in.
You know what that was right there? That was our promo for the show. That's what Ron just wrote.
Oh my goodness! You should have heard me when I listened to this later. Just
Time
anyways.
travel later.
Gotcha.
Time travel.
Gotcha.
When I listened to it before coming back to re-record it,
Before, after.
Back to the Future.
Back in time.
Gotta get back in time. Okay. Now this word is not, you said causality?
Yeah.
This word says such causally looped. Now I don't know if it's a typo or if that's actually the word. Such causally looped events then exist in space-time, but their origin cannot be determined. A hypothetical example of a causality loop is given a billiard ball striking its past self. The billiard ball moves in a path towards a time machine, and the future self of the billiard ball emerges from the time machine before its past self enters it, giving its past self a glancing blow. Is that when she looks up at you? Sorry. That was dumb.
So maybe that's the paradox you're talking about. The billiard ball that is moving to move towards the time machine is struck by itself coming out of the other side of the time machine, which
Yes.
is what causes it to move to begin with.
In the
and you've
time
got an
machine, and
infinite
it never stops, altering the past ball's path and causing it to enter the time machine at an angle that would cause its future self to strike its past self the very glancing blow that altered its path. Exactly what you guys said. In this sequence of events, the change in the ball's path is its own cause, which might appear paradoxical.
That takes me to a video game.
Which one?
So I've played this game called Stranded Deep. I don't know if you've ever played it before, but it's an amazing game. It's very relaxing, very tranquil. This is not a plug for them, however, it sounds like one. So it's a game where you are in a plane going over the Pacific, and your plane crashes. You get hit by something and the plane goes down, and you wake up and you have to go to these beautiful, gorgeous tropical islands that are small, and you have to survive. It's a survival game.
Oh, cool.
Well, they just patched it recently. So spoiler for anybody who plays this game, don't listen to this because it just was patched last week. They added an in-game scenario.
Oh, cool.
The in-game scenario is another island that's there that you never saw before. It's just another island that just you keep paddling and it's there. And you can build an aircraft to leave, to go home.
Oh.
And the cutscene, when you are all done with all of your stuff and you go to fly home, you fly into your plane from the beginning and start the whole thing over again.
That's awesome.
So causality,
Causal loop,
you
yeah.
caused yourself to crash. It's really, really kind of cool.
I'm glad that this was the first one, because this is actually, out of the bajillion time travel paradoxes, this is the one that has stuck with me the most. Again, to throw back to Doctor Who, they did a 2-episode arc on causal loops. So of course we accept that he has a time machine, he can move anywhere, relative, whatever, he can do his thing. So he has this great example where he says he's a musician. One of the doctors is a musician, and he constantly plays guitar as Peter Capaldi's the 12th or 13th Doctor, whatever. He has this. He sits down. This is the only time he ever did it with the Doctor. He sits down before the episode starts and he says, "I am going to explain what's about to happen." And he explained using this example. He says, "Yeah, sheet music." He has Beethoven sheet music.
Oh yeah, we talked about this on the show before.
We have
yes,
talked about
yes,
it.
yes.
He has Beethoven sheet music, and he says, "I want to get it signed. I'm a time traveler. I'm going to go get Beethoven to sign my sheet music." So he goes back to the right time and location, and he goes to find him, and he's looking around, and he can't find Beethoven anywhere to get his sheet music signed by the great Beethoven while he was in his time.
And nobody's heard of him or anything.
Yeah,
either.
he's like no trace of him whatsoever. So the question is, where did he get his music from?
No, but what you were saying is when you said this before, you said when he left. I haven't seen that episode. He left, but he left his sheet music behind. Hence,
Yes.
maybe the causation of, or the causality of Beethoven's birth or Beethoven's origination or
Yes.
whatever. Yeah,
That was the tail end of it.
I have thought about that, Josh. There are nights that I'm laying in bed, like can't go to sleep or something. I will play that story that you told me without even seeing the Doctor Who episode over in my head over and over and over again because it's so fucking cool. That's an awesome story.
It's just it's concise and it stuck with me. It's just anyway. Sorry, I'm a bit of a Doctor Who nerd.
Understood. I gotcha. Everything I have in my mind that's like time travel related is always Star Trek shit.
No, that's good because Star Trek does hit on a lot of interesting theories. The only thing about Star Trek that I never liked. All right, Star Trek is stronger than Star Wars. I get that. Star Trek could win in a fight. I got it. I understand that. But they had to introduce the character Q. That character is the God character, basically.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that
The omnipotent being is what he was.
that threw me off and turned me off of that show so much because you can't create a God mode character in a show like that. It doesn't work.
Why did you? I mean, I thought it worked. I loved it. So
I like
why
his
do you think it
character.
didn't
He's a
work?
great actor. Don't get me
Yeah,
wrong.
John Delancey.
Is that who it is?
Yes. That was actually introduced in the very first episode.
Because
they started with the Q.
everything is not cube.
Q.
Okay, Q
said
was
Q.
in the first episode?
Yep.
Interesting.
Absolutely.
Everything else in that
Farpoint
show,
Stations Part 1 and 2. Yeah, that's right. I'm a Trekkie, motherfuckers.
everything else
know.
in Star Trek is logical, is on rails. Yes, some things are tangent and weird, but it's all very logically approached, is very well laid out, is very well, organized, is very well, you can see the origins of the different groups of creatures and people that they meet and whatever. You meet all these different civilizations. You can understand how it all happens. The Q is this omnipotent, can do anything, be anywhere, stop time, go back and what?
I tell you what. I tell you what. I have some comments on it, but I think it'll fit a little better in one of these other paradoxes.
Yeah, dude, do it.
So I'm gonna reserve those comments
Q
about
is gonna fit into a
the
paradox.
Q.
So, okay,
Yeah,
all right.
I'm gonna fit those comments about Q. I didn't have them pre-planned to talk about them or anything.
Copy that.
But I think it kind of fits into one of these others. So I will I'll hold off on my comments on Q. All right. So I read number 5, right?
Casualty loop. Yes, we got it.
The casual loop, man, where you're just chilling in it.
That is awesome.
All right. Number 4, grandfather paradox. The grandfather paradox is a paradox of time travel in which inconsistency is emerged through changing the past. The name comes from the paradox's common description. A person travels to the past and kills their own grandfather before the conception of their father or mother, which prevents the time traveler's existence. Despite its title, the grandfather paradox does not exclusively regard the contradiction of killing one's own grandfather to prevent one's birth. Rather, the paradox regards any action that alters the past, since there is a contradiction whenever the past becomes different from the way it is. The past is obdurate.
Or
from a book.
You could rephrase that particular number 4 on your list into being the Back to the Future paradox, because if Marty's parents hadn't hooked up at that dance,
Yes.
he started to disappear at the dance too. His hand started to vanish. Same kind of theory there. I personally, and obviously there's no proof behind any of this, I like the alternate timelines as opposed to the paradoxical ends for situations like that.
Yeah, for yourself, pretty much.
Right, correct. Your timeline then tangents a little bit from at that point. You still exist because you're metaphysical. You're there. So your actions have direct effects and would just tangent off into a new timeline where you're never born in that new timeline in the future, but you still exist in the past. So if you were to then re-travel to the future, you would have, none of your stuff would be there, but you're still a physical being. But yeah, that's the same theory there is if you killed your grandfather, you would never exist. So you're going to vanish. So the world will explode. Paradox, whatever the hell that happens to be.
There you go.
Yeah, it's interesting.
There you go.
And I just wanted to get to say back in time one more time.
Exactly. Any thoughts, Josh, on the grandpa's paradox?
I have a hard one seeing it as a paradox.
Hard.
Right. And it's not to say, because it is a paradox. I mean, by definition it is, but it's, but we understand, I mean, we don't have to walk away from it with like it just fucking happens. We have theories on different ways. So, I mean, they all have merit. Alternate timelines have merit. You go back and you kill your grandpa and you were never born, but like Adam was just saying, you're just in that timeline. You just, for that version of the universe, live there. And but that exists when you look at the world from a fourth dimensional perspective. That's a thing that can happen where you just jump into a different spot in the timeline. Or I suppose that would be fifth dimension, where you jump into a different fourth dimensional timeline. But it exists as a construct for what we know of the universe. Again, only as a theory, but it still exists with what we do know about existence.
I understand completely. So this isn't really necessarily a grandfather paradox, but I'm going back to Star Trek. So there's an episode, and now I'm mad at myself that I don't recall the name of the episode.
Don't worry, I will only judge you a little bit.
Okay, and here's what it's Star Trek Next Generation, by the way, and here's what happens. Normal looking day on the bridge of the Enterprise. All of a sudden, in like 2 seconds, they come across some anomaly. They don't know what it is. Another ship. And then all of a sudden, in 2 seconds, the bridge of the Enterprise completely changes. It's like the whole thing's like a battle bridge. Their uniforms are different. Worf isn't there.
He was the Klingon?
He was the Klingon. Tasha Yar, the original security chief, is there even though she died.
This episode.
Yes, even though she died, and here's what happened.
She died season 1?
She died season 1, yeah. The ship that they saw when they were the regular Starship Enterprise was the Enterprise C. So the Enterprise C, what they were supposed to be able to do was they saved a Klingon outpost from the Romulans, hence avoiding 20 years of war. But because of some kind of space-time anomaly, this time they popped into the future, never saved that outpost, and the future that they came into 20 years later was a 20-year war with the Klingons that at this point the Enterprise was losing. Or I should say that that Starfleet was losing. And Tasha Yar was there because apparently she didn't die the way she would have died originally. Now, then it got really interesting. She, for some reason, Guinan, that was Whoopi Goldberg, her species had some kind of like, she had a concept of time, could tell when time was off, couldn't really speak to specifics, but just knew shit wasn't right. And she knew that Tasha Yar isn't even supposed to be there. Like, I'm not even supposed to know her. So she goes back when they try and send the Enterprise C back because they realize, hey, that you saving that outpost actually probably could have avoided war. And this Guinan chick here, Whoopi Goldberg, says that, yeah, that I think that this ship needs to go back. It is not supposed to be here. So Tasha Yar actually goes back with it because she was convinced that Guinan was right. She was not supposed to be there. Then skip to 2 years later, all of a sudden they look on the screen and there's a Romulan, right? That looks exactly like Tasha Yar, played by the same actress. Because apparently she was captured. Tasha Yar was captured and the Romulan captured her, used her for a mate, and this was her daughter.
Holy shit.
Yeah, exactly. Star Trek gets really fucking cool. People dog it because it didn't have like all the, the characters don't really fight and there wasn't a lot of conflict with the characters, but had badass stories always.
And this has been fun. Tune in next week for another episode of A Very Trekkie Podcast.
Exactly.
A Very Trekkie Podcast.
Exactly. Okay, anyway.
Oh, yeah. We're going there.
Oh, my God.
Back in time.
You gotta get back in time. Okay. We're gonna get past the Star Trek stuff. No more. Well,
We owe $1,000 for that, Josh. Take care of that. Adam.
no more
got it,
Star
I
Trek
got it.
references. Maybe. All right. So that one was the grandfather paradox. Number 3. Now this one's gonna be fun, guys, because we have talked about this
Thank God,
paradox.
the rest of them have not been fun so far.
Yeah, I know.
I'm just kidding.
We have talked about this paradox multiple times on a few different shows, even on some different lists. And the way this was adapted is absolutely hilarious and makes complete sense. The Fermi paradox.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So the Fermi paradox is well, motherfuckers, if there is aliens, where are them bitches at? They've had millions of years to get here. So pretty much we
should know an alien. We should know of presence of aliens.
And then, so without me even reading the tiny little paragraph I have here, then what else should we know? If it's possible and can actually happen.
Oh, time travel.
Why don't we know why haven't we seen time travelers? How come they're not here? Where are these time travelers?
That's interesting. Is there a paradox name for that as well?
It's the Fermi paradox adapted to the concept of time travel instead of the existence of alien life.
Interesting. So there is one theory on that time travel is possible, but it's only forward. It's only into the future. You cannot go backwards in time.
Gotta get back in time. Okay.
I wasn't really going to plug that song again, but
there was one in here though that spoke to, and I think it was it the time machine? Yeah. So the time machine spoke the way that it was described. You could only go back in time. It's really hard not to sing the song every time I say back in time.
you're going to be driving home, then I go.
Exactly. That's why you gotta go watch that SNL skit.
Absolutely.
With Michael J. Fox on the elevator.
So somebody tested that type. They did an objective test for that type of paradox. And I cannot believe I am drawing a blank on his name. Crazy smart, bound to a wheelchair, talks through a computer. Yes. Jeez.
Why have I forgotten?
Stephen Hawking.
Stephen Hawking.
Thank you.
Yeah, he's actually he passed away
Googling
last
his
year.
book to try and oh my goodness.
On the Shoulders
Stephen
of
Hawking.
Giants. I read that.
Thank you.
I read
Universe in a nutshell.
I read some of that. I couldn't understand some of it. I mean, to be honest, it's fucking way over my head. Way the fuck over my head. But it's good.
But he so this test that he did, he took his house where he had privacy, and he in total, I think it was him and like one person had an entire banquet hall set up in the house, and he put out a bunch of food and music, and he planned a party
For time travelers?
Yeah.
And then the next day, after it had already happened, he sent out a blanket invitation. He said, this invitation exists for the rest of time. If you were there, if you see this, if we discover time travel, if it exists at some point, come back to this day, whatever it was, this time, this address, and you're welcome. So, and obviously, the first night was just him by himself. Nobody showed up for his.
Wouldn't that be like if somebody decided to make that a movie? That whole thing decided, and then they actually show up though.
You want to hear something really?
Hey, wait! I have a question though. Did the time travelers show up?
No, it was just.
So
him.
it was publicized that nobody showed up. However, there's a documentary where his journals have been released, and there actually was somebody that showed up. Not like a time traveler, not anything that was publicized to that, but it was somebody that just randomly showed up to his house, which is unpublished. Nobody knew anything about that, and wanted to have a conversation with him. Didn't address themselves as a time traveler or nothing like that, but he goes into great detail in that. So that leaves enough error for somebody to say, yeah, maybe.
So nobody knows about this person except for his journals?
And I just made it all up. So there's that too.
Did you for real?
Yes.
Damn, I was so interested. Like you had me going, dude. God, I'm an idiot.
You gotta
I'm
find
so
the thread.
gullible.
If there's one thread, it's not true.
Okay, so quick two little things. I said I wouldn't talk about Star Trek anymore, but remember I said I was going to talk about the Q. I wanted to quickly just talk about the Fermi paradox, but the original version that we know with the aliens. Well, how come if we haven't seen these aliens? And you think the Q, this omnipotent character, it's so ridiculous, but I think you're almost assuming in a lot of the concepts in the Fermi paradoxes, we're assuming that the other nature or the nature of other beings that could possibly travel or see us or are omnipotent or whatever are our nature, and that's of conquest.
No.
And Q's nature obviously wasn't really of conquest, but was more of curiosity. And
Q as a species, yes.
Yeah.
Q as that particular character
he was
that we were
he was
introduced
kind of a douchebag.
Yeah,
Really,
he was an asshole.
Yeah, but it was still very curious. Obviously,
Machiavellian tendencies are not supposed to be existent within the Q as a race. All right, but that guy was complete power hungry. He was complete control freak. So he was the standoff, and that's what humanized him a little bit, which I think related him to fans like you. But I think that style of character, that omnipotent being that can do anything the fuck they want, make anything appear just godlike, was just over. It was jumping the shark. Now, I will say, to the Fermi paradox piece again, I'm frustrated by the Fermi paradox. I think that is very arrogant of humanity to say, well, since we don't see it, it doesn't exist. I think that is incredibly arrogant. We haven't even discovered 2% of just our corner of the universe. We can't even see that far yet. We haven't been able to take in all of that data. So out of the data sets that we have seen, yes, there's no evidence, not necessarily little green men somewhere, but there's no evidence of any other civilizations or intelligent design out there. That's a bad choice of words because people attest that to religion. Anything that is occurring in nature.
Not of this earth.
Well, not necessarily of this earth, but not something that is engineered, something that isn't just naturally occurring inside our universe the way we know it now. We can't see that, but we've only sampled so little of our space around us that we're so arrogant in that concept. I love the Fermi paradox in its definition because it's spot on accurate. If we had already looked at everything around us in our close neighborhood of the universe. But we haven't. We've seen so little of our universe, it's ridiculous. The James Webb telescope that's about to go up in 2021 is going to open our eyes like we've never seen before. It's going to be literally... it's like that. Have you ever seen the videos on YouTube of the people that have that hearing device turned on and they can suddenly hear? Or the people that have color blindness and put on those chroma glasses and suddenly they see color?
Yeah.
That is exactly what James Webb is going to do for space exploration and discovery for humanity. Mm-hmm. It is that far advanced of a telescope, and we're going to be able to see that. And that's such an exciting time to be alive. We may discover traces of that Fermi paradox breaking evidence somewhere in the universe because of the James Webb telescope. It's that powerful. It's that cool of a device. So I think the Fermi paradox is the most naive theory in all of science. But I love it. It's a great theory. Don't get me wrong. I just think it's super arrogant because we know so little.
How many times have we? Yes,
sure,
kind of.
Sure.
How many times have we brought it up too? So obviously, it's a concept that is very interesting and fun to talk about.
I'm not knocking Enrique Fermi. He's 100% right about how his theory is put together. But it's because we know so little and we've looked at so little in the universe that it makes sense. It's like saying, there are no bugs in my house because that corner of the house doesn't have anything in it. Well, motherfucker, there's a whole house here. There could be bugs all over this house, but that corner doesn't have it. So it's saying I don't see anything there, so there's nothing there.
Wait, there's bugs in your house?
You know what I mean? It's just super narrow-minded of humanity to endorse that theory so much, and I don't like it. I mean, I love the theory; it's great, but I think it's arrogant of us.
Gotcha. Okay, number two.
Soapbox kicked aside.
You're good. Number 2. Twin paradox, and I think this might kind of touch on what you were talking about with the space
NASA astronauts.
Yeah, the NASA. If one member of a pair of twins goes on a journey at a sizable fraction of the speed of light, he or she will age more slowly than the twin who stayed at home. And when the traveling twin returns home, he or she will be younger than the twin who stayed behind, literally younger in biological terms. Now, I've got a few different things I want to read on it before we get into it.
Sure.
In the movies, in Planet of the Apes, astronaut George Taylor, played by Charlton Heston, you damn dirty ape, and his crew spend 18 months in hibernation at near light speed before landing back on Earth some 2,000 years into the future.
Yeah.
So, hibernation there. Is it possible this is the most scientifically sound and least paradoxical of all time travel theories? Special relativity tells us that moving clocks, including biological clocks, run slow. This has been tested by experiments in accelerators like the Large Hadron Collider. Particles with a known lifetime when stationary in the lab live longer when they are moving close to the speed of light. Yeah. That's it.
No, that's spot on. It's we've seen that, like we were saying earlier, we've seen that in in practice now. So the astronaut that's on the space shuttle that's orbiting the Earth, being further away and gravity is not affecting them during the free fall around Earth in aka orbit, ages slower than the twin that stays on the ground. The twin on the ground ages faster than the person up there. No, faster is wrong choice of words. At the same speed, but relative to their effect in space-time. So the guy in space is aging slower than the guy on Earth in relativity to each other.
Exactly.
I'm going to quote Doctor Who again.
I keep doing Star Trek. He keeps doing Doctor Who.
Yep.
Doctor Who's the modern
nerds.
It was Matt Smith's doctor. His companion, because that's Doctor Who's saying he always his companion asks about some fundamental understanding about time travel, and he looks at her in his "you have a very small human brain" sort of way, and he says, well, it's sort of a wibbly wobbly timey-wimey thing. And I think that that's what this is. Just like, it doesn't make sense if you put them next to each other. Like, it's weird, but it's how it works.
Yep.
Just kind of it's hard to.
It's what's cool about that one is it's proven.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
The GPS satellites is the other cool part about that too. They actually have a formula that you can go research and pull up on the internet that corrects for the time distortion because they're in orbit and so far out. It's amazing. There's a mathematical formula to make up for that difference, which is really cool because everything GPS is based on time. So how long it takes your phone to communicate to the cell tower, which communicates to the GPS back to you. It's all based on time travel. How far that time travel? See what I did there? How long it takes for your signal to reach that satellite and back down to you. So it's the closer it is to one satellite, the further it is from another, tells you exactly where your triangulation is on Earth.
I didn't realize that the cellular GPS network used cell towers at all. I thought it used 3 different satellites to triangulate. And I'm not trying to argue with you. I'm like, this is mind blowing. I know that it can triangulate off of cell towers as well. I thought phones had proper GPSs in them.
I don't think so. I might be wrong about that, but I don't think so. I think they use the cell towers because you triangulate first with your cell tower.
I know they
and
can
then you
do
triangulate
that
to the.
Now I get to be really stupid. Like, what do you guys mean by triangulate? Like,
so for you to find exactly where you are on a map, you need 3 points.
Okay,
that's
gotcha.
All. That's all that it means.
Okay.
More than 3 points is even more precise, but you need a minimum of 3. Not X, Y, and Z because that does height, but location based. You need, if I'm 100 miles from this tower facing east, I'm 20 miles from this tower facing west, and I'm 60, whatever. Those 3 points is all that you need to have a precise location. You can have approximations with only 2 points, but to have exact triangulation of where you are, you need 3 points, at least 3 points. Oh man.
Okay. So it is both. I pulled it up. It was an NPR article from 2006 where they talked about that's when they started adding in. At that point, it was only like primo fancy phones that had it, like this LG flip phone color screen. Look at that. Bah, 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 T9 typing. But they have both, and it is actually only a receiver. So you do get the GPS satellites broadcast their locations, and you receive those 3. So it does the triangulation on phone, but GPS is only a receiver. Your phones don't actually transmit back. Yeah, I just learned that about GPS. I thought it was both, but they just float around and just blast radio waves at the Earth saying where they are, and our phones pick up whatever they can, or GPS devices will pick up what they can.
That's pretty cool. Okay.
So you can have GPS, because what was hanging me up is how do we have GPS when I have no cell signal? If I'm out in the middle of the boonies driving around, how do I have navigation? And that's what I was trying to reconcile.
Flat earthers would say you have no cell signal out in the ocean, so you have no GPS.
I have a habit when flat earthers open their face where I stop, I close my ears. Because I just, whatever. Those guys, those people, they're special.
Yeah. Let's have them on again.
Please, yeah.
All right, we'll have a QAnon flat earthers episode.
You know what though? It'll be an entertaining show.
Oh, it definitely would.
Here, hold these mics, guys. We're gonna stand in the next room.
We need to start that show by saying this next piece of work is pure fiction.
Exactly. All right, guys. So that was the twin paradox.
Yes, sir.
All right, number one.
Number one. That was number 2. Twin paradox was number 2. Oh, I see what you did there. Twins 2.
Yeah. Boom.
All right.
Totally did it on purpose. Number 1. Let's kill Hitler paradox. Similar to the grandfather paradox, which paradoxically prevents your own birth, the killing Hitler paradox erases your own reason for going back in time to kill him. Furthermore, while killing Grandpa might have a limited butterfly effect, killing Hitler would have far-reaching consequences for everyone in the world. Even if only if for the fact you studied him in school, the paradox itself arises from the idea that if you were successful, then there would be no reason to time travel in the first place. If you killed Hitler, then none of his actions would trickle down through history and cause you to want to make the attempt to begin with.
It all depends on that timeline. So if you subscribe to the multiple timeline theories, the branching of timelines, then it still would work.
Yeah, because you just stay in that timeline.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
that's
you could
like
travel forward. You just wouldn't exist then. I mean, it'd be a different existence.
Not to spoil it, but I mean, it's been. I guess there's a Hulu miniseries.
Spoiled out. I'm sorry.
No,
Hitler died from suicide.
Yeah, Hitler died, guys. Just so you know. Not to spoil it for this, but there's a book, and there's a miniseries too on Hulu called 11/22/63.
Oh yeah,
it's a great.
That's the
great.
Is
great
that the one
book.
where you go back to?
It's a huge book, by the way, so it's a commitment. It's like 800 pages, but yes, it's a gentleman who he gets a call from Al's diner that he always goes. He's a teacher. He's like a 30-something-year-old teacher. He's divorced. He has no kids, nothing. All of a sudden, Al calls him the diner he always goes to and says, "Hey, Jake, I need to talk to you about something." And he shows him this keyhole through time that's in this dude's pantry that pops him into, I think it was like 57 or 58. I forget exactly. The book and the miniseries were different. Pops him right into the same time, and he has him go in there. Then he has him come back. And he's like, "What the hell was that?" And he convinces him to go back through there because he did it, but he got cancer. So he was there a couple of years, but he got cancer and had to come back. So he convinces him to go through there to prevent the assassination of John F. Kennedy. That's why it's called 11/22/63, because that was the day that Kennedy was assassinated. So it's really super interesting. The book is, I know that sounds, everybody says it, but the book is way better than the miniseries. Oh,
sure, yeah.
Because it first of all, the book just has so much more detail of him testing what happens, and that's the point I'm getting to. So he does a few different things to try and test to see what happens, and then he does this, and then he does that, and he's like, this isn't big enough. I need to do something that's going to be more substantial to test this because I don't really know, what's going to happen, or does it even affect the future, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So then he has to go and do something even kind of bigger. It's like almost the first quarter, 30% of the book is him just testing it before he actually decides, okay, this time I'm going in and actually, going to do what what I need to do. Now, the thing is, every time you come back through the keyhole back into the present, and everything you did stays. But the moment you walk back through the keyhole again into the past, anything you did to change, it starts back over at default setting. So if you wanted to go redo the things you did to test, if you still wanted to hold those changes, he has to go back through and do them again.
All right, so wait a minute. Does it affect the future timeline too? So
yes.
For example, if I went into this diner and I took a laptop and threw it through the thing and came back, suddenly will we have a technology boom that in the future?
It's possible.
All right, so but then if I went back again,
you would erase that
and then came back through, we would be right back to square one.
Exactly. You could undo anything you did if you screwed up, for instance.
So you just walk in and back out, and you reset it.
If you screwed up,
cool. I need to watch that. That sounds really cool. That have you ever seen The Umbrella Academy?
I haven't.
That's what I was going to say.
I haven't, but I have not. But
no spoilers. But because that's the newest season just came out. But they deal with Kennedy's assassination as well. It's one of the side plots inside the latest season. It's really fucking good. It's got some quirky comedy and some cheesy shit, but for the most part, it's really good.
Yeah, you should see what happens. I mean, I don't mind spoiling it because the book's been around for a while and the show's been around for a while.
They save Kennedy?
They save Kennedy, and it fucks the world up. I mean, the world is fucked.
Did they get to go back through it again?
He wrote this in like 2012. Actually, it's a Stephen King book. He started writing.
Oh, that changes things.
He started writing it in the 70s, and he felt like the early 70s, and he said, "This is like too soon." You know, it was like maybe 8, 9, 10 years. I'm gonna wait. So then he went ahead. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait, and then he doesn't do it again. I think he goes ahead and writes it in like 2000. I can't remember if it's 11 or 13. I think it might have been 2011. I don't recall when he actually released the book. But he has. It's just all fucked up. He goes, this happened and this happened and this happened, and Hillary Clinton became president, and the fucking world was fucked up, and it was just hilarious. Like, no, I'm not exaggerating. Like, I'm actually giving you details. He literally detailed Hillary Clinton becoming president, and there's a fucking nuclear war and all this shit.
Holy
it was
shit.
Funny. It was interesting. It was interesting. But which, by the way, for the political piece, it's funny he would put that in there because he's like a hardcore Democrat, so it's just funny that he would put that in there. But the most interesting thing I found about that, not related to time, was the amount of detail this guy did researching the Kennedy assassination. Like, he feels just he feels 100%. There's no second gunman. There was no FBI conspiracy. This is just one crazy ass Lee Harvey Oswald fucking sitting up at the book suppository that popped him. You know, simple as that.
The evidence is about to. Well, I say it's about to. It was supposed to last year. It was supposed to be released. The declassification of all the details around it. But there's one person that's inside those documents that are going to be unredacted that is still alive. And they don't want that to release this information and have that person targeted because apparently it's so damning that person would be targeted.
Oh,
so the CIA, FBI, Department of Justice, whoever the hell it is that has the lockdown on the JFK documents, the RFI, FOIA, the FOIA, Request for Information Public Disclosure Act, whatever the fuck it is, that has already triggered, and the Supreme Court has said, yes, you must release this. But they got it appealed because of this person that's still alive. So there is some shit that's going to come out in the next like 3 to 4 years that's going to be apparently pretty damning.
I mean,
it's going to be scary.
It's not at all surprising. We've talked many times about how the government has just done shit to American people.
Well, look at Ron's last episode, the unethical.
Yes, yeah, exactly. So, like, it's just, if it would be awful to find out in concrete fashion that, like, yeah, it was an assassin it was an American CIA operative because we didn't like what Kennedy was doing. Or, you know what? I mean, obviously you have to fill in a lot of blanks to get to that point, but for that to happen, it would be such a thing that I'd be like, oh, that fucking sucks. Anyways, like, I would not be surprised. It wouldn't like throw me off my game to be like, yeah, it was a CIA.
Like in 2020 when it was like, hey, by the way, guys, check out the UFOs. Check these out. Here's some government video. And people were like, cool story, bro. And an hour later, they're like, okay, let's fucking bitch about other shit again. Yeah, Ariana Grande's new CD's coming out. Let's talk about that instead.
All that I will say that it is doing, you know, a single brushstroke doesn't paint the picture, but lots of them make a pretty portrait. In this case, all of these things that it continuously shed light on our government completely manipulating the American public, completely hiding information from us, and then being forced to release that information later in life. It's drawing a pretty scary fucking picture.
Since we're getting way far away from the show content,
we should. You're right.
I think this should be reserved for the after show. We could talk about how fucked up our government is.
Anyway, that's going to be hard to do while trying to remain not political.
Well, I think we could do it without, being tribal.
We can be conspiratorial.
Yeah. How about we could do it without being tribal? You understand what I mean?
Sounds good.
What I mean by that?
We're about to get our own FBI handler, so we'll just ask him what we're allowed to say and what we're not.
No doubt.
We'll be talking to him soon enough. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Probably he'll be knocking on the door.
Why do you think I got rid of Alexa? Alexa's not in the studio anymore for that reason.
Especially with the message I got from the dude from Canada.
That I cannot wait.
Yeah, I gotta make this work.
He's not insane.
I hope if he is though, will it still be awesome?
What did I miss?
I've got an idea. I think maybe this is also after show conversation.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah, definitely.
Fucking great list, Ron.
Yeah,
you
that
bring
was a
them.
lot of fun, man.
You bring some fucking kick ass out of the park.
Actually, I guess good double list.
Oh, what's the twist? Yeah,
double list. No, that was the twist. In fact, it was like two lists in one.
Okay, cool.
Which really wasn't a twist, but just kind of just changing it up. But hey, one quick thing I wanted to mention though, when we were talking talking about the Stephen Hawking thing. In Big Bang Theory, there was one episode where they did a flashback of when Leonard first got an apartment with Sheldon. And of course, if anybody watches that show, you know there's a roommate agreement. Well, while they're writing out, or while they're signing the roommate agreement, he pulls out this page and Sheldon goes, we both agree that if either one of us discover time travel, we will appear at this time 5 seconds from now. And they both sign, and then they look back. And they're just like looking. They give it like 5 seconds, look around the room. They're like, oh well,
that was disappointing.
That's disappointing.
Yeah.
So I forgot to mention that, and it was hilarious. So I just thought I'd throw it in.
Ron found the one funny thing about Big Bang Theory.
What? That show is great.
I'm joking.
Oh, I love that show.
I watched more Big Bang when I lived with you and Andrea at the old house.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great show.
Oh, I love that show. I'm addicted. I've seen every episode like 5 or 6 times.
I will give one show an amazing plug, also because they had Kelly Cuoco.
Yeah.
They had Kelly Cuoco on as a guest. You know who Bert Kreischer is?
No.
Bert Kreischer he's a stand-up comedian and just a funny guy. He's fucking insane, crazy. He did a show called The Cabin. It's when he goes into the woods of Northern California, which is not really the woods, but I mean, it's still this wilderness. He goes in the woods to reconnect with himself. He's drinking too much, partying too much. His wife thinks it's a good idea. He just needs to go and relax. So what does he do? He brings all of his friends with him to the woods to go relax. And they do some fucking crazy shit on that show. Kelly Cuoco was on there, and there was another woman named Miss Pat, which is this over-the-top caricature of herself, which just makes fun of Kelly the whole time, saying, ain't nobody fucking watched Big Bang Theory. There's nothing funny about that show.
Nice.
It's funny. Anyway, go watch that. It's a 6-show series. Fucking brilliant. Especially if you like Bert Kreischer. But anyway, all right. What are we doing? We getting out of here?
Well, for starters, thank you to the Discord live stream. Thanks for showing up. So that was pretty cool. Hope you enjoyed Ron's double list. Also, if you want to get in on the Discord action, go to the website, twisted10.com. There's a link right at the bottom, big yellow bar. It says, join the Discord server. Hit a button. And that'll just pull up a new tab. You don't have to install anything if you do not like to. If you already use Discord, it'll just give you an invite to our Discord server. Otherwise, if you do just pull it up in your browser, that's fine. Come in, say hey, close the tab. That's all. We just want to hear from you guys.
Yeah, super simple. We also have the Patreon. So patreon.com/twisted10. You've heard us mention it a few times during this show. We've got something called the after show. That is where the three of us kind of sit around and talk bullshit, either about the shows or about other things in our lives. Just a fun little ad hoc recording, usually between 30 minutes and an hour for each episode. But it is not on rails. It is just the three of us. And if you want to hear some of the more outlandish stories like we kind of alluded to tonight, it's going to be in that. That is a Patreon pledge. So you will be paying us money to get those extra shows. So there's a $2 pledge, a $5 pledge, and then a Mac Daddy $20 pledge, I think, right?
Yep.
So if you love us, if you love the show, please show us some support. That money goes directly into the studio. It is actually managed by Josh and Ron. Adam doesn't touch any of it, so don't worry. It will not go to my Coca-Cola habit. So yeah, go check it out. Patreon.com/twisted10 and throw us a couple bones. We would fucking love you for it. And there's some perks in there too. So just go read up on the Patreon page. Anything else, Ron?
No, that's it. That's all I got.
All right. Well, boys, it's been fun, but it's time to get out of here. Let's go back in time. Yeah, I had to. All right, guys. Thank you very much for listening this week. We appreciate it. Ron, fucking awesome show. Knocked it out of the park again.
Thank you.
You know, you never disappoint.
I try not to. It's not what she said.
See you guys.